Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to The Wealth. The Wolf of Wall Street starring Leonardo DiCaprio hit theaters 8 years ago, giving us an insight into the crazy life of Jordan Belfort. The movie was Martin Scorsese's interpretation of the memoir written by Belfort himself, and which, you guessed it, was named The Wolf of Wall Street. One of the most important things that is taken into consideration during the development of a movie is to provide people with a good and engaging story, which might require certain facts to be omitted or changed. Martin Scorsese's directorial prowess shows in this film and even manages to make The Hangover look like a small high school party. While most of the 3-hour movie might have seemed like a crazy exaggeration of events that happened, the fact is that it doesn't even come close to capturing Belfort's actual life. The true facts about Jordan Belfort and his money-making scheme, along with his cronies, goes much deeper than what was portrayed to the audience. Now, 20 years after Belfort scammed hundreds of people involving millions of dollars, we have compiled a list of 8 facts that people ignore about Jordan Belfort. But guys, before we start, I'd want you to hit that red subscribe button to enter our monthly shout-out giveaway. Just comment down below, say I subscribed, and we'll enter you into the giveaway. Number 1. He was never called a wolf. While it is a pretty cool nickname, and what makes it even cooler is the fact that a movie was named after it, Jordan Belfort was never called Wolf by anyone ever. That's right, the only person to call Belfort by this nickname was Jordan Belfort himself when he wrote his memoir in 2007. Former president of Stratton Oakmont, Danny Proush, who was played by Jonah Hill in the movie, was quoted to have said that in 8 years of working with Belfort, he had never heard anyone call him the Wolf or anything like that. But it clearly is very catchy and helped market the movie to the success it is now. Number 2. Being a broker was never part of his plan. Being a stockbroker is something that not a lot of kids aspire to be. In fact, if you were to go out right now and interview a bunch of kids about their career plans, almost no one will say stockbroker. It makes sense because the stock market is essentially a bunch of adults yelling numbers at computer screens all day. Jordan Belfort was focused on becoming a dentist in his younger years. He managed to save almost $20,000 selling Italian ice on the beach, which is quite an amazing feat, to pay for his dentistry school. The story, however, goes that on the first day of his freshman year, the dean took him aside and told him that dentistry was not a golden profession anymore, and he shouldn't expect to become rich. This was enough for Belfort to drop out and switch career paths. Number 3. His victims were never paid back. Jordan Belfort had reportedly made off with $110 million of investor money. Now, if you remember, the scam that made him all of this money didn't target rich trust fund kids. In fact, it was your average blue-collar Americans who were trying to make a living working 9-to-5 jobs. It can be very appealing when some hotshot with big words calls you up from Wall Street with an investment opportunity that could change your life, even though deep down you know that you have a better chance of winning the Powerball than making a profit on penny stocks. After Belfort's prosecution, the court ordered him to reimburse the money back into his victims, but nearly 2 decades later, he has only paid $10 million of the $110 million that he owes. Number 4. He once made $12 million in 3 minutes. Say what you need about Jordan Belfort, but one thing is for sure, he knew how to pull off one of the biggest scams in the history of Wall Street, and he knew how to do it well. At the peak of his success with Stratton Oakmont, he was making well over $50 million a single year. One of the biggest financial runs that he made in his career was when he pulled in $12 million in only 3 minutes. That's right, in the time that it would take you to heat 2 hot pockets, Jordan Belfort made more money than most of us will ever see in our entire lifetime. Number 5. He actually sank his yacht. One of the most memorable scenes in the film was the sinking of Belfort's yacht, which was named after his wife Nadine. This 167-foot vessel had previously been the host to numerous wild office parties. In 1996, Belfort decides to travel across the extremely rough waters of the Mediterranean Sea and ordered the captain to power through the storm despite his protests against it. This proved to be a terrible decision because the yacht capsized during the storm and sank off the coast of Italy. No one was injured though, since all the passengers and crew were saved by the Italian Navy. Number 6. He almost resorted to violence. Drugs have a tendency to ruin perfectly good marriages, those and a combination of other bad habits. Nadine Macaluso, formerly Nadine Belfort, was the real ex-wife of Jordan Belfort, who didn't really have the most amazing marriage in the world. She seemingly broke up Belfort's happy marriage so she could have a better life herself, but what she wasn't aware of was that her husband was a crook who enjoyed drugs and other women. Proof of their toxic and unstable marriage can be derived from one event during which Belfort, while high on drugs, had an argument with his wife and proceeded to kick her so hard that she fell down the stairs. He then attempted to leave with his daughter, tossing her into his sports car and literally speeding through the gate before crashing into a pole on his property. Number 7. His sentence wasn't very harsh. One would assume that after scamming so many innocent people of their hard-earned money, Jordan Belfort would have had a strict and harsh punishment. He was expected to spend 4 years in prison, but he ended up reducing his sentence down to a mere 22 months after a plea deal. After spending a short period in solitary, he was moved back to a low-security work camp, which had all the basic necessities a criminal would need, like tennis courts and libraries. In short, it was a small vacation for Belfort, which was paid for by your tax dollars. And then of course, he had a huge movie made about him starring Leonardo DiCaprio, so it doesn't get more glamorous than that. Number 8. He is currently a motivational speaker. Jordan Belfort was known for his invigorating speeches at Stratton Oakmont to his employees to get them riled up for work, and boy was he good at it. He still didn't lose the charm after getting out of prison and became a motivational speaker. Many people shell out as much as $400 per seat to hear him talk and say some of his famous quotes like "Sell me this pen," and "Playing it safe and taking no risk is a shortcut to poverty." Whether you believe it or not, but some of the wise stuff that Belfort bestows upon the groups of would-be businessmen makes sense, and it might end up motivating you as well. Alright guys, this brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our videos in the future. Also guys, please do check out one of the 2 videos you're seeing on screen right now. It really does help us out. With that being said, I'll see you in our next video.